If you definitely had that opportunity to be outdoors earlier today, one thing that was missing was definitely going to be the humidity we felt across much of mid-Missouri. Taking a look at lower dew points we saw this evening, we're still back into the mid to lower 40s across much of the region. Some areas even seeing dew points into the upper 30s. So we're saying goodbye to a lot of that summertime humidity where you're typically sitting closer into the mid to upper 60s at times, sometimes even venturing into the lower 70s. Now, there are a couple issues that can arise with drier air. So the first and foremost, we typically will see drier months into the later portions of fall and a lot of pretty much the winter because we just don't have that much air that can hold a lot of the water in the environment. Now, speaking to that, think about this sponge here. I have a bucket of water and this sponge. Whenever we have warmer air, it continues to rise up and it can hold a decent amount of water as it continues to expand. Now, with colder air, what happens is that air will start to contract and sink, becoming more dense. Just like me squeezing this sponge here, it's going to contract, which means that it can't hold as much water and therefore can't pull back more water into mid-Missouri. Now, with that being said, you can also see an increase in the static electricity because a lot of times when the moisture increases, we're not seeing any changes in charges. So that static electricity buildup when you run your socks against a carpet, well, it can actually cause you to have a negative or positive charge difference with the rest of the objects around you. So when you go to touch something, one thing we can see a little bit different here is we see that negatively charged phone with a positively charged person. Eventually, they're going to want to equal themselves out, and that is what's going to create that electric spark that we'll continue to see, that shock that you're going to be able to feel. So with that being said, with less moisture into the air, that means that there's going to be less conduciveness to equal out those charges, and you're more likely to get shocked.